Good morning/afternoon/evening, everyone. We live in a world where people can say anything, do anything, and act in ways we don't expect. And yet the biggest question isn't about them, it's about us. What does this mean about me? How do we remain calm when someone disrespects us? How do we stay unshaken when life throws difficult people in our path? The answer isn't to change them, it's to change ourselves. The first step to never getting angry or bothered by anyone is understanding that no one has control over your emotions unless you hand it to them. Imagine your mind as a house. Would you leave your front door wide open for just anyone to walk in and make a mess? Of course not. So why do we let people's words and actions invade our peace? The truth is, most people's negativity has nothing to do with you. It's about them, their stress, their insecurities, their struggles. And yet, we make it personal. We take offense. But here's a secret. When you stop taking things personally, you stop giving others power over you. Now let's talk about control. We often think, if only this person would change, I'd be at peace. But real strength comes from realizing that you don't need them to change. You just need to master your response. Instead of reacting with anger, try this. Pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 9 times out of 10, it's not. But this isn't just about avoiding anger. It's about choosing something better. When someone frustrates you, don't just resist the anger. Replace it with understanding, with humor, with indifference, with empathy. And remember this, inner peace is not about avoiding difficult people. It's about becoming so unshakable that no one, no matter how toxic, can pull you into their storm. So today I leave you with this challenge. The next time someone tries to get under your skin, don't react, observe, smile, walk away. Keep your power. Because in the end, the strongest person in the room isn't the one who wins the argument. It's the one who no longer needs to argue at all. Why do we get angry? Why do we let people bother us? Most of us spend our lives reacting to others without stopping to ask the most important question. Why does this affect me? We focus on what people said, what they did, what went wrong. But if we truly want to be unshakable, we have to start with why. Could you imagine this, someone cuts you off in traffic, instantly frustration bubbles up. Your heart rate rises, you mutter something under your breath or maybe even honk your horn. But why? Did that person's action really take something from you? Or did your expectation that people should always drive carefully and respectfully cause the frustration? The real source of our anger and irritation is not the external event itself, but the meaning we attach to it. We get upset when someone is rude to us because we expect respect. We feel hurt when someone ignores us because we expect acknowledgement. We get annoyed when things don't go as planned because we expect control. But expectations are not reality. The moment we realize that the world does not operate according to our personal rule book, we free ourselves from the constant cycle of frustration. Think about the last time someone's words hurt you. Maybe they criticized your work, dismissed your opinion, or made a sarcastic comment. Your first reaction may have been to feel defensive, angry, or even insulted. But pause and ask, why does this bother me? Is it because deep down you're uncertain about your own abilities? Is it because you crave validation and this person just denied you that? More often than not, our emotional reactions reveal more about us than about the other person. There's a story of a Zen master who was once insulted by a visitor. Instead of reacting, the master simply smiled and asked, if someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The visitor replied, to the giver, of course. The master nodded and said, then why should I accept your anger? This is the power of detachment. When we start with why, when we examine the root of our emotional reactions, we gain clarity. And with clarity comes choice. Instead of automatically reacting, we can decide whether something is truly worth our energy. Consider a different approach to life. Instead of demanding that the world meet your expectations, let go of them. Instead of expecting people to be kind, accept that some people are not. Instead of assuming others will always be fair, recognize that fairness is a personal value, not a universal law. When you shift your mindset in this way, people lose their ability to bother you. They can do what they want, but you remain in control of your response. This doesn't mean you become passive or allow people to walk over you. It simply means you don't hand over your emotional power so easily. You recognize that most of what upsets you is a reflection of your own inner world, not the external one. And that realization alone gives you the ability to remain calm in situations that once triggered you. The next time you feel anger rising, don't ask, "What did they do to me?" Ask, "Why does this bother me?" The answer will always point inward, and the moment you look inward, you reclaim control. We spend much of our lives trying to control things, people, situations, outcomes. We want things to go our way, for people to behave the way we expect, and for life to be predictable and fair. But no matter how much we try, reality often has different plans. People will say things that hurt. Circumstances will shift unexpectedly. The world will not always conform to our desires. The more we try to control it, the more frustrated we become. The truth is, control is an illusion. The only real control we have is over ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, and our responses. And think about the last time you got upset. Maybe someone spoke to you rudely, ignored your efforts, or did something that felt unfair. The natural reaction is to feel offended, frustrated, or even angry. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, was I really upset because of what they did, or was I upset because I expected something different? The answer is almost always the latter. Our suffering doesn't come from the actions of others, it comes from our resistance to reality. Let's consider an example. Imagine you're standing in the rain, frustrated because you had planned a perfect sunny day outside. You shake your fist at the sky, curse the weather, and feel a sense of disappointment. But is the rain the problem, or is it your expectation that it shouldn't be raining? The rain does not care. It simply falls. You can't control the weather, but you can control how you respond to it. You can get angry, or you can grab an umbrella and adapt. This same principle applies to people. You can't control if someone is rude, impatient, or dismissive. But you can control whether you take it personally. You can control whether you let it ruin your mood or simply let it go. You can control whether you respond with anger or with calm indifference. And when you learn to master your response, you become untouchable. Because many people spend their lives reacting, letting the external world dictate their emotions. Someone is kind, they feel happy. If someone is rude, they feel hurt. If things go well, they feel good. If things go wrong, they feel miserable. But this way of living is like being a puppet, constantly pulled by the strings of other people's behavior and random circumstances. Real power comes when you cut the strings. When you decide that no matter what happens, you will not be controlled by it. One of the most effective ways to take back control is to practice the pause. When something upsets you, don't react immediately. Take a breath. Observe your emotions. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, the answer is no. The moment you pause, you create space between the event and your reaction. And in that space lies freedom. This is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending that things don't bother you. It's about recognizing that you have a choice. You can either be controlled by the world or you can control how you move through it. The rain will fall whether you like it or not. People will act how they choose, not how you wish. Circumstances will shift beyond your plans. The more you resist this truth, the more suffering you create for yourself. But when you accept it, you gain the greatest power of all, the ability to own your response no matter what happens. And once you own your response, nothing and no one can ever truly bother you again. One of the biggest reasons we get angry or bothered by others is because we take things personally. Someone criticizes us and we feel attacked. Someone ignores us and we feel disrespected. Someone outshines us and we feel insecure. But the truth is, most of what people do has nothing to do with us. It's not about you. It never was. The real issue isn't what others say or do. It's the ego that convinces us that we are at the center of everything. The ego is that voice in your mind that says, I deserve better. I should be recognized. I should be treated with respect. It feeds off validation, control, and self-importance. But the more we let the ego run our emotions, the easier it is for people to trigger us. If someone questions our abilities, the ego rushes in to defend itself. If someone insults us, the ego demands revenge. But when you detach from the ego, something incredible happens. You stop reacting. Imagine this. You're walking down the street and a stranger yells an insult at you. Your ego wants to fight back. It wants to prove something, to restore its sense of importance. But what if you simply didn't take it personally? What if you saw that person's outburst for what it really is, a reflection of their state of mind, not yours? When you detach from the ego, you realize that most of people's words and actions come from their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. And when you see that, their words lose power over you. Think about the times you've been upset by someone's actions. Were they truly trying to harm you, or were they simply acting from their own pain? A rude cashier might be having a terrible day. A friend who snaps at you might be struggling with stress. A boss who doesn't acknowledge your work might be lost in their own worries. But if you let the ego take over, it will convince you that these actions are attacks on you, that they are personal, that you must defend yourself. But in reality, people's behavior is rarely about us, it's about them. Letting go of the ego doesn't mean allowing people to mistreat you. It means recognizing that you don't need to react to everything. It means understanding that your worth is not determined by the way others treat you. It means realizing that just because someone is rude, dismissive, or critical doesn't mean you need to take their behavior as a personal wound. One of the most freeing things you can do is remind yourself, this is not about me. The next time someone frustrates you, pause and ask, what must this person be going through to act this way? Shift from taking things personally to observing them objectively. Suddenly, you go from being reactive to being unshakable. There is an old saying, you cannot be insulted if you do not take offense. The only way someone's words can hurt you is if your ego attaches to them. If someone calls you a failure, it only stings if you secretly fear it's true. If someone ignores you, it only bothers you if your ego craves attention. But when you let go of the ego, you let go of the need for external validation. You realize that no one's opinion has the power to define you unless you let it. True peace comes when you no longer feel the need to prove, defend, or react. When you detach from the ego, you stop giving others control over your emotions. You stop making their actions about you, and when nothing is personal, nothing can truly bother you. Most people see annoyance as a problem. Something to avoid, something that ruins their mood, something that shouldn't happen. But what if annoyance wasn't an obstacle? What if it was an opportunity? A chance to grow, to strengthen your mind, to become more unshakable. The key to never getting angry or bothered by anyone isn't to avoid difficult people or frustrating situations. It's to reframe them as challenges that make you mentally stronger. Think about the things that annoy you the most. Maybe it's a coworker who constantly interrupts, a driver who cuts you off, or a family member who never listens. Your instinctive reaction might be frustration, irritation, or even anger. But stop and ask yourself, what if this is a test of patience, emotional control, and inner peace? And athletes don't complain when their workouts are hard. They embrace the challenge because it makes them stronger. In the same way, mentally strong people don't get annoyed easily because they see frustrating situations as training. Every time someone irritates you, you have a choice. You can react emotionally, allowing the situation to control you, or you can pause, breathe, and choose to see it differently. Every moment of annoyance is a chance to practice control, just like a difficult workout is a chance to build muscle. Imagine you're standing in line at a coffee shop and the person in front of you is being ridiculously slow. You feel your impatience growing. But instead of giving into frustration, you can ask yourself, can I sit with this feeling without reacting? Can I use this as a chance to build patience? The moment you start seeing these situations as challenges rather than problems, everything shifts. Instead of being a victim of your emotions, you become the master of them. This mindset shift isn't just about avoiding annoyance. It's about transforming it into something useful. Instead of saying, why does this person have to be so frustrating? Ask, what can I learn from this? Maybe the challenge is to stay calm under pressure. Maybe it's to practice not taking things personally. Maybe it's an opportunity to develop empathy, realizing that people act out of their own struggles rather than trying to upset you. One of the most powerful skills you can develop is the ability to laugh at things that used to annoy you. Humor is a secret weapon against frustration. If someone is being difficult, instead of getting upset, smile to yourself and think, oh, another challenge. Let's see how unshakable I can be today. Suddenly, what would have been an irritating experience becomes a game, one where winning means keeping your peace no matter what happens. Some of the most successful and peaceful people in the world don't avoid challenges. They seek them out. They understand that growth comes from discomfort, and emotional strength is built through exposure to difficult situations. The key isn't to wish for a world without annoying people. It's to become the kind of person who remains calm no matter what. The next time you feel irritation rising, remember, this is a challenge. Not a problem, not a setback, but a chance to strengthen your emotional control. Treat it like a mental workout, an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are in charge of your emotions, not the world around you. And when you start thinking this way, you'll find that fewer and fewer things have the power to bother you at all. When someone disrespects you, ignores you, or acts in a way that feels unfair, the natural instinct is to react with anger. Anger makes us feel powerful, like we are standing up for ourselves. But in reality, anger rarely solves anything. It only fuels conflict, drains our energy, and gives others control over our emotions. The real power lies in choosing empathy over anger. Empathy is not weakness. It does not mean excusing bad behavior or letting people walk over you. It means recognizing that most of the time when people act out, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Their stress, their insecurities, their struggles. When you understand this, it becomes much harder to take things personally. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Your first reaction might be frustration. How dare they? Don't they see me? But what if you paused and considered another possibility? Maybe they just got terrible news. Maybe they are rushing to a loved one in the hospital. Maybe they're completely lost in their own worries. The reality is, you don't know. But what you do know is that responding with anger won't change the situation. It will only disturb your own peace. Choosing empathy doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. It means shifting your perspective so you are not controlled by negativity. If a coworker is rude, instead of immediately getting defensive, ask yourself, what might be going on in their life? Are they dealing with pressure at home? Are they overwhelmed with work? A moment of understanding can instantly change your reaction. You no longer see them as an enemy, but as a person struggling in their own way. One of the most powerful ways to stay unbothered by people is to remind yourself that everyone is fighting battles you can't see. The angry stranger, the impatient boss, the distant friend, each of them has their own burdens. That doesn't mean their behavior is justified, but it does mean it's not about you. When you realize this, you free yourself from the cycle of resentment and frustration. There is an old saying, hurt people hurt people. Those who lash out, criticize, or act unkindly are often projecting their own inner pain. When you react with anger, you are simply feeding into their negativity. But when you respond with calmness, or better yet, with kindness, you break the cycle. You don't let their emotions dictate yours. You remain in control. Think about the last time you were short-tempered with someone. Were you really angry at them, or were you just stressed, tired, or frustrated about something else? Most of us have had moments where we've acted in ways we later regret, not because we are bad people, but because we were struggling. If you can recognize this in yourself, you can recognize it in others. And when you do, you realize that choosing empathy over anger isn't just about helping them. It's about protecting your own peace. Empathy doesn't always mean engaging. Sometimes the best response is to step back and not let someone else's negativity affect you. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to take their pain on as your own, but you can choose not to add to it. And in doing so, you protect your energy, your happiness, and your ability to stay calm in any situation. The next time someone does something that would normally make you angry, pause. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, what might be going on with them? Even if you never know the answer, the simple act of asking shifts your mindset. And when you see people with more understanding, you'll find that fewer and fewer things have the power to bother you at all. Many people think of peace as something they will eventually achieve, some future state where nothing bothers them, where life is perfectly calm, and where they are finally free from stress. But this way of thinking sets them up for disappointment. Peace is not a final destination. It's not something you arrive at one day and never lose. It's a daily practice, a choice you make over and over again, moment by moment. Think about physical fitness. You don't go to the gym once and expect to stay in shape forever. You have to keep training, keep exercising, and keep strengthening your body. The same applies to your mind. Just because you remain calm in one situation doesn't mean you will automatically stay calm in the next. Peace is like a muscle. It needs to be worked on every single day. The world will never stop testing you. There will always be difficult people, unexpected problems, and moments that challenge your patience. But the goal is not to eliminate these challenges, it's to get better at handling them. The person who never gets angry or bothered isn't someone who never faces difficulties. They are simply someone who has practiced peace so consistently that it becomes their default response. Each day brings new opportunities to practice peace. Maybe it's the slow driver in front of you. Maybe it's the coworker who always interrupts. Maybe it's the unexpected delay that forces you to wait. Every one of these moments is a test, a chance to choose patience over frustration, calmness over irritation, and understanding over anger. Many people believe they will feel at peace once certain conditions are met. Once they get the perfect job, once they move to a quiet place, once they are surrounded by positive people. But real peace doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's not about controlling the world around you, it's about controlling the world within you. If your peace depends on everything going, but if you learn to cultivate peace regardless of what happens, nothing can take it from you. This doesn't mean you won't ever feel frustration or irritation. Even the most peaceful people experience moments of tension. The difference is in how quickly they return to balance. When they feel triggered, they recognize it, take a breath, and choose not to dwell in negativity. They don't let small annoyances ruin their day. They don't hold on to resentment. They practice letting go, not once, but over and over again. A great way to strengthen your peace practice is to develop small daily habits. Meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking a moment to pause before reacting can make a huge difference. The more you train yourself to stay calm in small moments, the easier it becomes in bigger ones. Another key practice is gratitude. When you focus on what's good in your life, it becomes harder for small frustrations to shake you. Remember, peace is not a one-time achievement. It's something you cultivate, nurture, and strengthen every day. Some days will be easier than others. Some situations will challenge you more than you expect. But that's the beauty of it. Every moment is another chance to practice. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. So don't wait for life to be perfect before you find peace. Don't wait for people to change or for circumstances to align exactly the way you want. Start now. Start where you are. Because true peace isn't something you find, it's something you become.